some daylight.
It's not great, but it's not terrible.
It's all right.
Yeah.
A little bass gets you
Yeah.
pumped up a little bit. Whatever.
I had ChatGPT make the prompt to put into the other AI. It's AI talking at AI. But initially they said like country rock, and Suno makes it like super twangy if you put country in there, and it sounds real gay. So I was like, make it either hip hop or rock, And so, but now you can like put lyrics into it, and I'm not sure if I'm ready to go down that rabbit hole yet. Like I may not come up.
Yeah, well, I'm an engineer. English is not my strong suit. Words are not good.
Yeah. That's fair enough. Yeah, you talking ones and zeros. But lot of zeros coming out of West Sacramento here lately. A lot of zero on the. We finally broke the schneide on Sunday. 11-game losing streak. Finally got a win against a really good hot Phillies team. Like Phillies are cooking right now. And then immediately ran into the buzzsaw known as Hunter Brown there, and like. It's been a rough stretch of the schedule too. Like we caught Shohei on his 50-50 bobblehead night, and that was when they put up 19 on us. And Shohei went 3 for 4 with 2 dongs. And then we caught the Angels on a 6-game win streak, and we made it 10 for them. We caught the Phillies on an 8-game win streak, coming off a 4-game sweep of the Rockies. And we gave up another 2, but we actually played the best baseball against the Phillies, which was probably the best team that we'd seen. Well, we saw the Yankees.
I mean, Phillies right now are
they're hot.
They're tied for the top record, or maybe a game off. I can't remember.
I think they're the best in the National League.
Yeah, I can't remember where they're at compared to the Tigers. It kind of depends on the day or time of day.
I think the Tigers are up on them as far as the overall lead, but the Phillies are best in the National League at the moment. And honestly, aside from a couple just fuck ups and bad pitches here and there, or just like Kurtz lost his glove on a scoop, and which it probably would have been runner probably would have been safe, but instead that turned into him on third base, led to a run, and Mason Miller blew a save, gave up it was 2 or 3 the night that we saw him pitch. He didn't.
You were out there.
Yeah, and he didn't pitch against Philly, but which he probably, that first game against Philly probably should have. But I don't know. There was some the bullpen has been really bad here lately, and the guys that were kind of lights out at the beginning of the season, like the high leverage guys were dialed in early on, and then the rest of the bullpen was hot garbage. And then even the guys that had been on the high leverage guys, all of a sudden just. Like Holman gave up 5 one inning. He came in the game with like an 0.61 ERA, and gave up 5. And and just like fuck, man. Ferguson, who had been nails, has last couple outings not been good. And JP Sears, who has been kind of the rock of like him and Severino have been the guys where when they're on the mound, you're like, all right, I feel pretty okay. Springs. If he doesn't give up runs in the first or second inning, he's usually nails. But it's the first and second inning that get him. But Sears and Severino have been dogs all year, and then Sears got lit the fuck up today, and then Hunter Brown on the other side. And it's like, well, fuck, you don't want to give that guy 3 runs cushion, let alone 7.
Yeah.
It's like fuck, man. They've just they've really been in it. Been in it.
Definitely. I've been Sears is one of the guys I target for like a first 5 type bet,
Yeah.
and that's been doing all right for me because it's been the bullpen that's been
the bullpen's been not great. They I don't know. They've got to figure some shit out. They've been doing a lot of shuffling here lately, both on the lineup side and the bullpen side. JT Ginn made one start and went back to the IL. So, but they called up Lopez, who started against it was him and Wheeler that first game versus Philly. And that truly was a fantastic game. That was the Friday night game that we went, and it was really, really good baseball. Like the A's were putting the bat on the ball against Wheeler, but just nothing was falling. I think he gave up 3 hits, no runs, 8 Ks. Lopez gave up a leadoff home run. He didn't look great in the bullpen when we were watching him warm up. We were on the right field lawn, home run hill as they call it, but it's right there by the bullpens, and so we got to watch, long toss and everything. We got to watch their full warm up for Severino, and I think it was Anderson that was going for the Angels, and then Lopez and Wheeler the second day, and we got to watch all of it. We got to watch the bullpen guys warm up, and Lopez didn't look particularly sharp when he was warming up. Severino was dialed in. Wheeler was dialed in. I didn't watch much of Anderson once he got into the bullpen and was, doing his final warm up. I watched his long toss and whatnot. But Lopez didn't look particularly sharp. And then he gave up the leadoff home run. I was like, fuck, it's going to be a long day. And then he just settled in and went seven shutout after that. He went the full 7, 3 hits, 1 earned run, 8 Ks, 1 walk, I think. And you're just like, fuck, man, that's a great performance against one of the best pitchers in the league who did almost exactly the same. He went 6 2/3 shutout. I think he had 2 walks, 8 Ks. And you're just like, they both went about, I think Wheeler went 91 and Lopez was like 105. It was like almost identical outing. And yeah, you go into the 7th down 1-0. You're like, all right, we can win this game. And then it kind of went back and forth. And yeah, there was it was tied going into the 9th, and Miller gave up 3. And he's still throwing hard. His slider was nasty, but he just was not hitting his spots. And
yeah, that's why I watched that one on TV, and I just noticed that like he's missing his catcher.
Yeah, and then Butler, who so they called up a guy to play center field. They sent JJ Bleday down. Bleday's been struggling, like both sides of the ball. He hasn't been hitting, and then he's not been playing very great center field either. So they sent him down. They called up the rookie. He got his first hit tonight. He went 0 for 9 against the Phillies with 8 strikeouts.
That's a bad way to start
it's
your
rough.
career.
It's rough. But he plays really good defense. But Butler stole one of his plays early in the game, kind of showboating, one up in the rook. And I kind of get it. I mean, I get it. It's one of those things. But then in the 9th, when your closer's struggling and you get a ball that bounces in front of you, when you should have laid out, but he pulled up, and that led to a run. And you're just like, God damn. And then he struck out to end the game. And you're just like, fuck, Butler, come on, man. You got paid. You're supposed to be the guy. You got to make that play. And or at least lay out. Like if it gets by you laying out, I mean, I'll still bitch, but nowhere near as bad. But
I don't know. I mean, so the Tigers on Monday, shoot, honestly, I can't remember who's playing center. Baez got booted.
Oh yeah, that's right. I love Javi Baez.
Oh,
I fucking love Javi Baez.
He was furious, man. But the guy probably could have laid out or maybe did a slide for the ball and like didn't. But it was, I think that was either in the 9th or the 10th. And I'm like, okay, well, if that ball gets by him, like 3 are scoring.
Yeah.
And he's like, okay, instead only 1 scores.
Well, yeah, I don't know, man. They already they were down and it was 2
they're
out.
Down. Okay, then yeah, if you're down, you maybe got to go for it.
You got like it was one of those ones where it's like, and Miller's struggling, like he's struggling, and so you're like, you got to help him out, and you're on a 10-game losing streak. Fucking do something.
Do anything, yeah.
You got to do something. And I was there, goddammit. I'm there. I'm paying my money. Entertainment, goddammit. No, it was like the culmination of all of it, and you're just like, fuck. We had it in like so many times during that stretch. There was a couple games where they sure enough got worked, but a bunch of those games where it's like, you blew it late. You had the lead going in the 8th or the 9th, and you blew it. And this one was kind of the same deal. Like, I know it's the Phillies, and that lineup is just insane.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, when you're on a 10-game losing streak, like, come on, man. Like, break the schneide. Get off the schneide somehow, however. And it was, but all that being said, it was a fucking great game. Like, Rooker hit a shot to center field in the 9th. It was, I think it was like 117 or 118 off the bat. But it was just a line drive, and Rojas made a jumping catch, like rolled into the wall to save it. And you're just like,
dude, you just can't buy it, right?
Yeah, and you're just like, nice catch, you little fucker. It's like, I mean, it was an incredible play, but it was against my guys. So you're like, fuck you. That was awesome. Fuck you. It was just like, it was the schneide of all schnides, it felt like, and they finally broke it, and now they're back on it. But Katse got tossed. He was the first guy to get tossed in West Sacramento, at least big league. So I'm pull it. I got the video.
I love this.
It's so funny.
Happen here. Well, follow, right? That's a strike. And it's about. Don't point your finger at me.
I love it. Now he's got to take the long walk to the outfield.
A bit of a standing ovation in the left field foul seats.
That's so funny.
That's great. I can't wait for opposing manager to get booted.
Oh yeah, I can't wait. It's
because he's going to get booed the whole way back.
Oh yeah, the entire way. It's so funny. That's the best. That's it's 303 to that corner, so it's a pretty good walk.
Yeah, well, speaking of getting booted, Baez got booted. As he's I think it was just the first out in the inning, maybe second out in the inning, but he got a couple. I think that would have either juiced the bases or put 2 on. It's clear, like, I mean, I went and looked. I was at the game, and so it looked bad. I mean, if it's low, and especially where I sit, because like the hump, like I sit right behind home. So
yeah, like you got
away. But if I can see that, like the glove, like underneath the catcher, like I know it's low.
Yeah,
and we went and looked. It's like 4 inches low. Kind of.
Yeah, it was a bad call.
Yeah, and I guess Javi said something after the game. He's like just the interaction that kind of made him go off. But he's like, yeah, I was, it was like I was sitting on that pitch. I knew that pitch was low. Like I know it's low, and like the umpire said something. It was pretty innocuous, but it's just kind of telling him to go sit down. He just went off. Yeah, I mean, and like sometimes like people kind of put on a show of like trying to get to.
Oh no, he was pissed.
Someone. I like two of the bigger players on the team had to like hold him back. I mean,
yeah, he wasn't putting on a show. He was fucking pissed.
Yeah, I think Carpenter was out there and like holding him back, and like Carpenter's a big boy, and he's struggling to hold him back.
What Carpenter is what, left or right field?
Yeah,
but he's he's a big outfielder.
Yeah, he's like 6'2", 230.
I know we got that video in the Instagram chat. I'm trying to find it, but on that, along those same lines, different game, but Tarek Skubal, holy shit, man. What hat am I going to have to buy you? Because there's not a chance that Jacob Wilson catches him at this point.
I think he's on. I said something like, I can't remember exactly what it was, but he's on pace for like 250 something. Strikeouts.
And then he threw a complete game shutout with 13 Ks.
Yeah, 13 Ks, 2 hits, no runs, no walks. Also, he just doesn't walk anyone.
Yeah. It was under 100 pitches.
94 pitches. Maddox.
Fuck. Yeah.
And his last pitch to strike out the last batter was 102.6.
That's insane. Like,
it's the fastest of his career. And someone even mentioned, is like, man, that's kind of like how Verlander was. He's like, he just keeps getting faster and faster as it goes.
Yeah.
But the last starter in the ninth inning, it's the fastest pitch in the ninth inning by a starter in the whole MLB since Verlander in like 2011.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's pretty impressive. I know there's not too many complete games anymore, but just throwing that kind of heat.
He's on pace for 246 Ks and 21 walks. 11.7 K to base on balls rate.
That's crazy.
Insane. It's insane.
I know his ERA's. I mean, it's sitting at like 2.5 or something like that. Which is. It's really good, and like if he keeps it up for the whole season, it might end up being the best. There's some people who are better now, but all the people who are better now have a worse FIP than him. His FIP's like under 2, like just under 2. Everyone else is sitting around like high 2s. So it's FIP, field independent pitching. Kind of takes out the defensive part of the game. Good metric to see, like, usually you tend towards your FIP. So he's been getting a little unlucky, and everyone's been getting a little lucky.
Right.
So the takeaway from that is he might get better.
Yeah, exactly.
that his ERA is right now.
And he's still got a really, and he ran into a buzzsaw. Like you had the Dodgers opening week or opening day.
Yeah, he had 2 bad starts to start the year, and has been pretty lights out since then.
I'm trying to find that Javi Baez. Here we go.
So one last thing on Skubal. So like it came up a couple times this week, but so Skubal can remember every single pitch that he's thrown in like every game. You just like ask him about an at bat, and he'll tell you like the pitch sequence for it.
It's so wild because we were talking. He got the Maddox, which
Maddox could also do that.
And Maddox looks like he could do that. Maddox he looked a little slightly downsy. Whereas Skubal looks on the other side of that spectrum, where he looks a little more Neanderthal. So that's what makes it so much more crazy when you see this. Just like, I mean, sure enough, like that dude is all man, and it's just like. and then he can still do that shit, and you're like, all right, well, maybe that guy should be president, like that guy should be the leader of the clan.
Oh, woof. But he had a good interview with Pitching Ninja last season, where he's just like rattling off like pitches that he threw in college and like exact locations. And then I think MLB did an interview with him, where they just it was a little like quiz to see if you could remember. He hit like he got every single answer right.
Yeah,
that was just incredible.
That's wild. I mean, then he also throws 102.6 on the final strike of the game. Like, God damn, dude.
Yeah, I'm still disappointed I missed that game. We have a half season, and it's every other day, and that was the day we didn't go.
God damn it, that sucks. I know my kids don't appreciate it now. At some point they will, but you're like, we got to see a rookie go out and give his best against fucking Zach Wheeler, who was just dealing. Like, he wasn't on Skubal level, but still 6 2/3 scoreless. That's a hell of a game. And then you got a rookie goes out and does 7. And all he did was one bad pitch, one bad pitch the first batter, and you're like, that's a fucking game. I know it's kind of boring when you're young and you don't have quite the attention span, but man, for a baseball nerd like we are, like that I was just dying. And like Lopez was just pounding the strike zone. Like, I think he had it was like 65% first pitch strike. And you're like, man, that you're setting yourself up so good. Like, when you see how the averages decline, the more you get up in the count as a pitcher, like you give yourself such an advantage by throwing that first pitch strike.
Yeah, definitely. I think there's some historic data that they did, and like the 1-1 count is really the big one.
Yeah.
You want to get that second pitch, but you never get there if you don't get that first pitch.
Yeah, exactly.
And it just it starts you out on the attack side.
And then when you get to 0-2, 1-2 count, like that's when you see all the filth come out. Like that's when you see the filth. Whether it comes on that 0-2 pitch or it comes on on the 1-2 or the 2-2, but it's setting up the filth.
Well, and it can really, it allows you to also throw something off the plate that's going to set up that third strikeout.
Like Skubal does that with that slider. He throws the slider off the plate and then comes in high and tight with the cheese. And just like,
I love it.
Fucking come get it. And I there's nothing more than that I love than just blow him down four-seamer. Just like right at your chin. Yeah. Come get it.
Wow. And then, if he gets that strikeout, he's doing that like Viking yell.
Fuck yeah, dude. And I love that shit. But then also it's like, I love to see a guy that like when he knows he got one, just pimp it. Fucking pimp that home run. Juan Soto, maybe make sure it's a home run.
Man. That was one of the topics for tonight. Is Juan Soto is like.
Well, before we get to that, I want to go back to the Javi bias. I got that pulled up, and it was pretty gnarly.
Went with a curveball last at bat, and right there he does the same. That's called strike 3. It was below the zone, and the crowd is reacting negatively. So is Javi with Phil Cuzzy. Here comes AJ.
Get going,
help his player, and they're gonna. AJ was a step away from getting out there, and Phil Cuzzy runs Javi Baez, and Joey Cole is out there as well. Javi Baez is incensed. I don't know what was said, but Javi is livid. AJ Hinch was one step away from the plate when Phil Cuzzy.
Javi's a big dude. Let alone.
He's not super tall, but he's thick.
Yeah. He's not a small guy. Yeah, that he was not happy. But yeah, and then along so you also had the bad umpires in general. Like God, some of them are so bad. And I saw a bunch of like compilation clips of like umps in the 90s, and we're like, all right, so they've always been bad, but now we can prove how bad they are.
Yeah, exactly. Like the really egregious one was on O'Neal Cruz, who's 6'7", and they called him a strike like mid shin.
Yeah.
I just don't get it. I mean,
I don't either. Like it just
like that's not a strike on Altuve. Like it's definitely not a strike on someone over a foot taller.
Yeah, no shit. And I really can't wait till they implement the challenge system. After watching
it about it before, but like the umpires don't want the challenge system. They want full robo umps.
Right. They don't,
because they just don't want to get. I mean, that's one of the things about like the umps is, man, they don't want to get showed up.
Right.
And they want to make sure that they're the star of the show.
Right. It was just like nobody comes to watch the umpire. Like it's like rooting for the cops, like nobody in their right mind actually does that.
That's fine. You're the second person to say that to me this week.
It's like when you have a favorite politician, it's like you're rooting for the umpires, it's all the same shit, it's just like, no, like nobody's going to the game to watch the goddamn umpire. Like, just keep yourself out of it. Like, do your job. And like people appreciate a good ump, like, or at least stay consistent. Like if you're calling that pitch, call it in the first inning and don't come off of it. Then at least but then it's always like, well, you haven't called that pitch all fucking day. And then this one's egregiously low. Like you haven't called it on the border all day. And then you ring him up on something that's clearly low.
Yeah. And, I've heard some people talk about this too. Is like, made some good points that like, there's so much better breaking balls now too.
Yeah.
And so like, you're sitting behind the plate, and so where you catch it, like, it makes pitch framing even more worthwhile because you might catch it where it's a ball, but it came through the zone as a strike.
Yeah.
And now you're trying to like show them like, oh no, it is where it is. But also sometimes they, they'll go off of like where the catcher sets up with the glove, and if they got to move it, they're not going to call it a strike because like, oh, you missed your spot. It's probably a ball.
Right.
But we know, but we have the technology to actually know if it's a ball or a strike. So
yeah, I
can't wait for it.
I can't either because like I don't want to take the umps out of the game. Like I don't want the automatic balls and strike deal. I
don't want that either. I think that's the worst. I think that the challenge system works really well. It's not intrusive.
It's limited and it's almost instantaneous. Like
it takes like 3 seconds to
and
tap your head.
The crowd in. It gets the crowd into it too.
Exactly.
Like I like it. It's good for baseball.
So I mean, as far as like getting the crowd into it, I mean that hobby ejection got the team into it because I think they went on to score like 3 runs like immediately after he got ejected. But also that was pretty early in the game, and you're taking out our best fielder off the field too, and one of our better hitters. But I mean, it's ridiculous that he's getting booted off of a bad call.
Right, and also, and he wasn't really saying much of anything.
No, he didn't. He just kind of walked to the bench. He walked it back to the bench a little bit too slowly for the ump.
That's like when they booted Tatis for saying you're not invited to my birthday party. I'm just like, fucking yes, you're soft. Don't be so fucking soft.
I remember like one ridiculous one. Christian Walker was he's standing up on the rail in the dugout and clapped for a good call.
Yeah.
Like, called that one of his team's way, and it was probably correct. And then Ump just tossed him for that.
Yeah. It's just like, yeah.
So another thing that they're go ahead.
So they're just trying to make it about them, and it's like, if you wanted it to be about you, you should have been better at baseball, actually playing baseball. You know?
Yeah. So another thing that, like, as far as like robo umps, they're trying out a check swing call, like an automatic check swing call. They're trying out in one of the single A leagues. I think they did it in maybe the Arizona Fall League last year. Now they're doing it in one of the single leg leagues. And one of the interesting things about that is there's not actually like a specific rule about currently about like what is a check swing and what's not a check swing. It's a little bit more of a judgment call. I mean, what I was like, grew up thinking was that, like, as long as you don't pass one of the foul lines, like, it's a check swing. But what they're saying is now it's from the front of the plate, if the bat doesn't go 45-degree angle to the front of the plate, that's a check swing, which is, I mean, the foul line is a 45-degree angle off of it. And so if you pass that, then it's a swing. And I haven't heard anything. I think it just started like this weekend or something like that. But I'm curious to see some video of how that works.
Yeah, that'd be interesting because I always thought it was like if your wrists broke over is what they call, or at least that's what they said when I was growing up anyways. But then I was watching a video from like that. I think it's like Jake Savicki or something like that. I think he's part of Baseballer, or like he's involved, but he's the guy that does like the dry erase board.
Oh yeah, okay. I've seen some of those videos. He's all right. I enjoy some of his stuff. But he was saying like the 45-degree angle thing. So, which is also like right about when your wrist would break across as well. So, I mean, it's still kind of very subjective. And I always feel bad for those umps because like you've got to be locked in, even though you're not calling balls and strikes. And then, like, if say you just like reach up to scratch your nose or something, and you're like, "Fuck," didn't go, and then everybody's like, "Oh, fuck it up," and you're like, "I don't know, man." So that's about the only time I'll sympathize with an ump, or if somebody's just got elite breaking stuff, then I kind of sympathize with them because like. I fucking looked good until it didn't, huh? Yeah, I mean, like from the normal view from baseball, like I got the Padres Miami on right now, but like they got the little box, and you can clearly see it's a lot harder when you're behind the plate. But even still, like that's their job.
Yeah, it is, and
you should.
Yeah, I agree. Like but it's and on some of those, I'm just like I kind of halfway sympathize with them, but then
but like in
umps,
fine, maybe it's fine, but like don't toss someone because you screwed up.
Right. Well, that's kind of where, or you could like the one dude that fucked up Galarraga's perfect game. Like when he came out and he's like I was wrong on that.
I mean, he wrote a whole book about how terrible he feels about it.
Yeah, I know. So you're like, all right, so that's I forgive that guy because the guy loves the game and he made a bad call. It fucking sucks for Galarraga because he would have been one of 20 ever to do it. But it is what it is.
Too, right?
Yeah. Yeah, because it was just a couple of years before the replay, right?
I mean, that was the impetus for bringing replay in.
Yeah,
I think they tested it out and then brought it in fully like a year or two later.
Yeah, and I do like that because like it seems like the NFL, there's like everything gets reviewed all the fucking time, and it takes, like I agree with a lot of it, but then it seems like they kind of go overboard. And I like that baseball tries to make it as the least amount of intrusiveness as possible. And
it's definitely quicker than baseball and basketball and football. Football takes forever. Basketball sometimes does, and a lot of times on basketball, which I get why those take a little bit longer, but some of the penalty might be a little subjective, like if it's just a technical or like a flagrant or something like that. But like baseball, it is like there's nothing subjective about it.
Yeah. Well, and I like just and they're quick about it, and then. After watching the ABS system in minor leagues for a couple of years now, like it's great. I just tap the helmet and 3 to 5 seconds and it's and then just on with the game. It's quick, keeps the umps honest, which I think that's more
necessary.
That's more of the issue than trying to get rid of them. It's like, no, just make them be good at their job. This is your review, your quarterly review or whatever. I think it's good for all of it. We brought up O'Neal Cruz. That was also on the list and should be. That dude hit a fucking. I don't know what missile you would compare it to, but it's like a sidewinder. Exactly. 123 mile an hour off the bat. Like that's.
This is the fastest in the StatCast era.
So I was listening to Baseball is Dead earlier, and they were talking about whether it was because obviously there's no way you can tell before they started tracking that type of stuff. But then they pulled up some videos of the steroid era guys, and you're like, there probably was some 130 mile an hour shots, but like not taking anything away from it. That this was like an absolute rocket.
That ball had to land 50 feet in the river.
Drive to right field. If it's fair, it's gone, and it is gone. There's a Cruz missile. Wow, that got out of here in no time. A bomb.
God, yeah.
122.9 miles an hour.
I was going to say that had to be the hardest.
That's wild. That is a very tall guy getting his arms extended all the way.
Yeah,
and
imagine him in the steroid era.
Fuck, dude. He had it was an 84 mile an hour bat speed too. So
that's crazy.
Yeah, with those long ass fucking arms. That's wild. That's it's a surprise the bat didn't just shatter. It's the way it sounded, man. I always wonder, like, I bet you the next time he catches one off the handle, that thing just not only just like breaks but splinters.
Yeah, I'm sure. I mean,
there's no way that thing sound after that. There's no way that thing's still completely sound.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah. Man, he's got some serious power. I was looking at some defensive stats. They need to put him back to short. Really bad. He's a terrible center fielder.
So kind of along those same lines, like Juan Soto is pretty notoriously not a great fielder. He's pretty much an offensive weapon only. He's caught some flack here lately. The Yankees fans turned their back to him, which I found comical.
It's funny. I I don't think it's disrespectful or anything. Like, it's just funny.
No, I don't. It was kind of funny.
Bro was only there for a year. Like, chill out a little bit.
It's not like he was. I mean, he drug your sorry asses into the playoffs. Well, him and Judge, and then he carried them through the playoffs because Judge disappears.
Judge doesn't hit the playoffs.
Yeah. He became the king of New York, and then I don't know. When you're getting offered $700 million plus, I think you can go ahead and throw the clothing allowance and the charter flights or whatever the fuck you want. If you're quibbling over that amount of money, how bad do you want him? How bad do you want him?
The box suites and like the charter flights for family is not it's not abnormal for like a jet for some of the giant contracts. Like, there's other people the same thing. He's not the only one. And also it's $700 million. Like, this is pennies compared to that.
Right.
But also, I mean, like, there's some reporter that like brought up a bunch of this stuff. He's a gay, or I think he's a New York reporter generally.
He's a Yankees fan.
Actually, I think he's a Yankees fan, but I think he actually is maybe in New Jersey. But he reports on the Yankees. Yeah. That's funny. But yeah, like, I guess one of the things was like Soto was supposed to be mic'd up on Sunday, but like all the reporters all weekend, all they did was ask him about Judge.
Yeah,
and he's like, "Well, I'm not going to do it."
Right.
It's like, well, if if this is what I'm gonna get asked the entire time, like, I'm not doing it for you guys.
There was also some big deal about, how like he snubbed Judge in warm-ups or something, and I
think it was the other way around. I think Judge it was a weird clip, and it was really short, but it was kind of him like kind of walking a little bit out towards Judge, and Judge not looking at him. And then he just like kind of turned around and walked away. But I don't think it was actually. I think it was maybe taken out of context there.
Yeah, I think it was not deceptively edited, but I guess maybe deceptively edited.
Yeah, because there's another clip of. I saw another clip of them
like dapping each other up.
Yeah, yeah. So I don't think that's it. And like, there's definitely not any. There's not any shade from him. Like, one time when they did ask him about Judge, she's like, "Yeah, it was nice having Judge,
the best hitter in baseball behind
me." But he's like, "Well, I got Pete Alonso now, and it's not not that bad."
Like, and honestly, like he's kind of got, because it's got Lindor in front of him, and then Alonso behind him. Like,
that's some pretty good lineup protection,
right? And also, like, he's Juan fucking Soto. He's pretty goddamn good himself, and and he's like either right on pace or above where he was at last year. And
he's been on a little slide, so it's a little bit bad. But I was looking at some of the stats trying to figure it out, and he's been hitting the ball just as hard as he was last year. He had like he's got pretty much the same hard ball hit rate, fly ball rate.
Yeah.
But he's got like a significantly lower expected batting average than it's like 0.064. So if he was batting that, like, he'd be at 300, which is better than he usually hits. And so he's getting unlucky. He's got like a much lower batting average on balls in play than normal. So it means he's hitting balls really hard, just right at people.
But he's also in the same division as Wheeler, Luzardo, Sanchez, Schwellenbach, Smith-Shaver, Skeens. Or I guess Skeens is in the Central, but still, like, they play each other quite a bit. And then Alcantara, like, he's in a really and the National League itself is just is pretty stacked this year.
Yeah.
So you've got plenty of good pitchers in the American League too, but it's like it's pretty weighted towards the National League this year. And so he gets to skip Skubal, only have to go up against Wheeler, so it's like, okay.
Damn.
Yeah, fuck.
He's got the reigning NL Cy Young champ in his division.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
right?
And then Strider's coming back. He hasn't looked great yet, but he's coming back. And then then you still got to go pitch the 13-headed monster that is the Dodgers.
Yeah. And I guess because he's not been hitting as well, people were giving some shit about dogging some plays a little bit, and he bounced one off the top of the wall that he thought it was probably gone, and he only made it to first.
Yeah.
Probably would have easily been a stand-up double.
It'd been a stand-up double, maybe looking at 3. Maybe depending on yeah, right.
But the next play he stole second base.
Right. So
it's
you kind of made up for it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So my kids, every time we're watching the A's now, they give Butler shit because he dogged on that one play, and I was like, well, all right, let's hold up. He's kind of been on a tear since then. That game he went 2 for 5. He was 2 for 4 until he struck out in the 9th. But he's kind of coming on, and then the next day he hit 2 doubles. One of them was the tying run, and then he scored the go ahead or the winning run. And so you're like, all right, come on, we'll give him shit for that one play, but we're not gonna write him off completely. That's our guy. But I definitely chirped him. He heard it. I also chirped Harper when he missed a foul ball, and because of the win. I was like, all right, well, I got to talk shit to a future Hall of Famer too. So
Nice.
Harper didn't hear me, but I know Butler did, because he was right there in front of us. But yeah, it was kind of funny. The wind is crazy there in Sacramento without the rest of the stadium to block it.
I bet.
And the wind coming off the river and stuff, it kind of swirls. But yeah, right there on that first base side, Harper dropped a couple of pop-ups there, right there, along the and it's really narrow there. There's not a whole lot of room in foul ground. And he dropped a couple of them, but I got to witness one. I got to chirp him, and he also got plunked twice. He was pissed that second time. The first,
I'm sure.
The first time he didn't make a big, but he was pissed that second time. And I was like, all right, well, I'm glad I got to see him play, but I'm also glad to see him get roughed up a little bit too, because fuck the Phillies, and I like Harper, but also he's not. I ain't rooting for you that day, buddy. You came to our house, so fuck you. I'm going to talk shit. And
I don't like him, so I would have liked to see him get hit.
Fair enough. Yeah, it was cool, but Trey Turner's a stud. That he ate us up that whole series. Trey Turner's really good.
Yeah.
That center fielder for the Philly, Rojas, I think's his name. He's fast as shit.
He's a rookie, second year,
something like that. I don't know a lot about him. He didn't really hit much, but he played really good center field. I mean, it was a game-saving catch that he made off a rooker. Yeah, and he's fast as fuck. Schwarber, I like Schwarber. He walks or hits tanks. That's all he does.
His new Adam Dunn.
Yeah, pretty much with better on base percentage.
Yeah, okay.
But yeah, if it's not going out, he's not getting on. Or if it's not a walk or a home run, he ain't getting on base.
Weird guy. Hits 200, but because he hits so many home runs and doubles and walks, he's pretty valuable. Yeah, it's great. They had him batting leadoff all last year too, and he's still hit what do you have like 35, 40 home runs last year? Oh yeah,
it's wild. And he can't run either. That's the other thing. It's so your leadoff guy. You're not worried about him running because. But you got him lead off, so because he might get on base, and it's crazy. Philly's I don't know. I feel that way about a lot of teams where I don't like the franchise, but I kind of like that team. You know, same with the Dodgers. I can't stand the franchise, but I find it hard to hate pretty much everybody on the Dodgers.
Yeah, I don't like Phillies, but I don't like Harper, so that kind of makes it hurt a little bit more. But I do like some of the guys there. I mean, like, I still like Castellanos from Tigers days.
I like Castellanos.
Yeah.
But I fucking love Kike Hernandez. Like that guy's just funny as shit.
Such a weird guy.
He's a perfect Dodger, honestly. Like he seems like a crazy LA guy. I don't know where he's from originally, but he seems like a crazy LA guy. And not like Hollywood, but like an actual Mexican LA guy.
Yeah.
And yeah, Shohei, like I was watching a reel of him and just like cleaning shit. Like he was picking dirt off home plate. He went and picked up his own broken bat after a sacrifice fly. Like
it's very Japanese culture.
Yeah,
right? Like,
he's like the ultimate Japanese. It's so funny. And then Freddie Freeman's just a sweetheart. Like how do you not like that guy?
Freddie Freeman, so he's leading the league in OPS. He's the oldest player to lead the league in OPS since Ortiz in like 16, 15, something like that.
Yeah.
And he's like, man, he's still kind of injured.
Yeah, like his ankles just like duct taped together.
Yeah, and he's out here like OPS over 1,000 still. Like crazy.
And plays well above serviceable first base too. Like he's a solid first baseman, and like if you didn't have guys like Shohei on your team, like he's probably top 3 in the conversation for MVP.
Yeah.
And maybe still is, Corbin Carroll's been having a hell of a year too, though. Like,
he's hitting for power too now. Like,
I know he's a tiny little dude hitting tanks. He's not Jose Altuve tiny, but he's still like not a big guy.
He's baseball tiny.
Yeah. And playing center field and playing elite center field. But the Diamondbacks they're just kind of I think they're at 500. I don't know what they were at 500 before today, and they're 4th in the National League. And
they went a little cold there, but that team's pretty good.
That team's really good. Gallon has been not great this year.
Corbin
Burns has been pretty good. I mean, like they've kind of picked up the slack elsewhere, but yeah, he's like Zach Gallen has been not great. I wouldn't say he's been bad, but he's not been great.
No, he's not what you expect out of Zach Gallen.
Right. So I mean, but it's also, for people that don't follow baseball, like, it's still really early, even though like we watched a shitload of baseball this year. I know between the three of us, I don't know if Jordan's computer just died completely or what, but like we've watched a shitload of baseball, and but it's still, you got to remember, it's not even June.
Yeah, we're just a little bit under a third of the way through the season. So
yeah, so like
you can certainly like trust some of the numbers here, but it's a far way to extrapolate out for the full season.
I think I couldn't. You cut out like halfway through there. Your lips were moving, but I didn't hear you. I wonder if that's on my.
Am I still dead? Nothing. You sure it's on? It might be on your end, man.
Well, my headphones work. Are you? Say something, Jake.
Hey, am I still?
Yeah,
muted?
you're. I can't hear you. You're.
All right. I'm gonna.
I can. Okay. Manny Machado just struck out. Jake will be back. We'll be back here in just a second. All right.
I'm back. I don't know if that helped.
Yeah, I can hear you now.
All right.
Yeah, it was.
I don't know what happened there.
Yeah, mid sentence it just cut out. And I was like, I don't know what happened, but.
Well, I was saying like we're about a third of the way through the season, just under. So like, yeah, I mean, I think like you can trust some of the trends here.
I think so too.
It's hard to extrapolate out for the full season, especially since like I don't know, the Braves started out so bad, and they're. They got back up over 500, then dropped a couple, but they're getting healthy. The Padres have been falling apart, but they're really injured, so they'll get healthy. And then I think the Tigers. I would really like to hope that they stay on top like the entire year. I don't know if that'll happen, but we'll see.
Yeah, you got to think a slump's coming somewhere, and.
Well, we lost 3 games in a row this weekend, so I'm hoping that's it.
Yeah, yeah, I like that. So, like, that's what you're hoping for when your team's doing good. It's like, all right, let's keep it to 3-game skids. Like, let's not do an 11. That 11 sucks, especially when at the time of that, like at the start of that 11-game skid, we were only a game and a half back of the division, and now we're 7. So
and that can change the other way real quick too.
Real quick. And but they called up a bunch of people. They sent down a bunch of people. They optioned or DFA'd a guy, optioned a couple more, and so it's but then you look at the Braves, Strider's coming back and he hasn't looked great in his first couple starts back, but he's gonna be Spencer Strider probably as long as his elbow holds up. Acuna first pitch
he sees.
Yeah, and then
want some good money on that one.
Fuck yeah, that's awesome. I almost took that bet, and I can't remember if I decided not to or I forgot to do it. But Acuna first pitch back, and then he hits another one the next day, and I heard that he's already got a better WAR than he had last year. After like 3 games,
that's not good.
You expect that guy to produce, and you expect Strider to be a stud, and on top of the pitching staff they already have, the Braves are coming back, and the Mets were on top of the NL, and now it's the Phillies, and but the Dodgers are still there, but they kind of went through a little bit of a schneid. They got swept by the Angels at home.
Yeah. And hey, let's bring up the standings. Let
me grab those. But I think it's becoming a little more clear.
Yeah.
But it's still early, and and injuries happen. That's kind of the biggest part of it is injuries happen.
When you kind of expect injuries to happen at some point, you just got to make sure you got the bench to work through it.
Yeah, exactly. And then you hope it's you hope it's nobody serious either. But so at the West, the Mariners are still just chugging along. They're the first in the West to get to 30 wins. Astros beat the shit out of us tonight.
Yeah.
Game in it.
Yeah. I mean, Astros, I think they started a little slow and they're just kind of back to being the Astros again now.
I think so. I was kind of hoping that whole run of the
Me
Astros
too.
was done, but it's not. It's just they're still there. The Rangers are kind of whatever. I think they could be good, but they could just kind of end up like this, right around hovering around 500.
The Angels, I mean, I don't know. I think honestly being this close to 500 at this point in the year is probably a win for them.
They went on a 10-game win streak to get to that point, and they're still under 500. So, I don't see them. Trout was warming up with the team, but I guess he's been running, but as far as I know, he's not back yet. We didn't get to see him play, which sucked. But yeah, they're not very good. The A's, I'm not ready to say they're not very good yet. I still think they're a pretty decent team if they get their shit together. But
I mean, without this like huge giant slide,
like
what was it, 12 game lose streak, 11 game?
It was 11, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like they can come back from that.
Yeah, they've lost 12 of 13. I think they can if they get the kind of just get going in the right direction again. Like when they're built on slugging too, and when you're not hitting home runs and then your guys are not getting on base either, that makes for a rough stretch. Or when you're getting on base but not driving them in. Like that was enough.
Yeah.
They left so many people on base during that stretch. So we'll see how it goes. But the Mariners look really good, honestly. Like they look like a pretty damn good team. We'll see
Definitely.
we'll see if they can hold it out. But like there's been plenty of times where we said the Mariners look like a really good team, and then they they just piss it down their leg at the end of the season. So,
well, they're at least hitting the ball.
They are hitting the ball, and actually their pitching hasn't been as good as it has been in recent years, but they're actually hitting the ball this time, so the pitching doesn't have to be as good.
Well, they just got Kirby back. I know he got shelled his first outing, but he's a good pitcher, so that should help them out quite a bit.
Yeah, they're going to be tough, and that was also disappointing. They dropped 2 out of 3 to Seattle at home when they legit could have had a sweep there. Like it's two different cases of blowing late leads, and like that fucking hurts. It's going to come back to bite you in the ass. Yankees, you had in the notes there, they're kind of running away with it, and I agree. My Rays prediction is kind of looking pretty good right now. The Rays just doing Rays shit.
Yeah, I didn't see that one happening, but also like I thought that the other 3 teams in the East would be better, especially Boston.
That was another one where I thought like and they still do. I mean, they're 8 games back, but I don't see anybody catching the Yankees. It's gonna be a fight for the wild card for the rest of the East. Is what it's looking like.
Yeah, Baltimore is just abysmal. That
was them and the Pirates. That was, it's hard to. I think the Pirates was a worse pick. But 19-36 and 19-35. It's right there. They're both bad picks.
Yeah, but everyone's surprised about the Orioles.
Nobody's surprised.
I'm surprised they're that bad, but no one's surprised that they're last.
Yeah. Did Skeens finally get a win? I think he got a win the other day, didn't he?
I missed it on Sunday.
He threw 8 shutout and still got the loss.
It's been happening to him.
I know.
Like goes out there and shoves, and then the bullpen blows it immediately for him.
I know. Or
he just gets no run support.
No run support at all. And it fucking sucks. Your Tigers though, man, they've been on one. It's been fun to watch. I've listened to. You got a great radio team, by the way, too. Like the radio broadcast is really good.
Yeah, we listen to it a bit when we show up late to games. So, but we'll listen to the radio. It's just good.
Did you know that you can put the video feed on and then also but select the radio feed?
On MLB?
Yeah.
Oh no, I didn't. I'll have to check that out.
I found that out the other day, and now I have not listened to Jenny Kavanaugh since.
Oh, poor Jenny.
I know, but if she was better, I would listen to it. But the A's actually have a really good radio team as well. So like now I can watch the game and listen to them on the radio. It's all right there. So I was like, huh, that's pretty dope. Good job, MLB. So the Twins came roaring back, and they're 5 games back. They had like an 11-game win streak, didn't they?
They won like 10 straight.
It was double digits. It might have been just 10, but I want to say it was like 11 or 12. But yeah, they've been playing a really good baseball here lately, and the Cleveland's like they're still right in the thick of it. The Royals they're above 500 somehow. Like they outside of Bobby Witt, they cannot score. But their pitching staff is really good. So, and then they got a guy named Jack Caglione in AAA that all he does is hit bombs.
Yeah. So I didn't catch yesterday's, or maybe it was in today's game, but he's been up for 6 games into AAA after he got promoted. Late promotion, in my opinion, but
well, because
he then he goes on to hit. It is 5 home runs in 4 games. He's leading the minors in home runs. He's just crushing the ball. He's hitting over 300, I think.
I think so. Yeah, he's just been.
Yeah, he's got a 1280 OPS right now in AAA.
Yeah, 1280. It's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah. So again, like I can see him getting promoted
real soon, and the Royals could use him. Like they need some offense outside of Bobby Witt Jr.
Yeah, and like with some guys, like so he would have he just got drafted last year. But he's 22 or 23. He went to college. I mean, if you look at him, like he looks like a grown man. He's 6'5", like 250. Like he's like Nick Kurtz, big Amish, same type of thing. He got drafted last year. Was like all he did at AAA was hit home runs. Granted, he was at Las Vegas, but it didn't matter where he was at. He was hitting home runs, and they called him up, but like there was people saying like from the first week of the season, they're like, called Nick Kurtz up. But he got there. Now he's hurt, motherfucker. But like he was finally, like, I wouldn't say he was struggling, but he was figuring the big leagues out. Like he wasn't overpowered, but he wasn't necessarily performing, but he was getting on base. He'd still struck out way too much, but the power was starting to come, and he had hit 4 home runs in 5 games up until Saturday when he got hurt. And I hope he's it's just a strain and he can come back off a short stint on the IL. But yeah, Jack Caglione's same type of deal, except he was doing it in AA and then immediately just kept on going in AAA. And and if there's a team, especially like with playoff intentions, that Especially,
that could use a guy like that, it's the Royals.
well, and their offense is just struggling so much because their
So
pitching,
much.
their pitching is good,
Really good.
really good, but they just are not hitting the ball, and like Bobby Witt can't do everything for you.
Yeah, he can't bat 3 times in an inning, unless without everybody else getting hits too. You know, like he can't.
And that's not happening on that team.
No, not at all. And you're like, yeah, so like, and he's having a great year, but like that's all they have. And so you're like, yeah, get that guy up, and even if he sucks for a month, fuck it, let him figure it out. Like he seems like he'll figure it out.
He's figured it out at every level. And,
Yeah,
and
like
there's nothing that says that he won't just crush the ball in the MLB too.
Yeah, so just like get him up. Just stop fucking around. You need the help. The White Sox. I will say, nice thing about the A's, they're in last place, but they are the best of all the last place teams. And White Sox are nothing. Who's the Smith guy who's been pitching pretty good? Other than that, Luis Roberts doing good. Yeah, they're both probably gone at the trade deadline, and White Sox are better than the Rockies. That's about it. The Phillies are on a fucking tear, 9-1 over their last 10. So they're game and a half up on the Mets, who are still really good. The Braves are back below 500. They're gonna have to hustle to get a wild card, but I think they'll get a wild card.
Yeah, they just got like 2 of their best players back, and assuming Strider goes back to being Strider, they'll be fine.
Right. Nationals, James Woods still hitting tanks.
Yep.
That's about it there.
Mackenzie Gore's having a nice season.
Oh yeah, Gore, and it seemed like maybe they had somebody else that
I think
was it.
Gore might. If Gore keeps it up all season,
Abrams is he on the Nationals? CJ Abrams.
Yeah. I'm in a trade for Soto.
Yeah, so
they got both of them for Soto.
All right, so they're both performing. So that was a good trade on their part, I guess.
Gore's got a chance to hit 300 strikeouts on the year.
Yeah, he's been striking out a lot
right
of people.
Now, yeah.
So I mean, there's something there at Washington, but it's not this season. Like it's gonna like individual guys for the year, but as far as a team, I don't see much happening there. Marlins, Stowers has been having a really good year.
Alcantara is looking like shit.
Yeah, Alcantara not looking good at all.
Just too bad because I liked him, before he had the Tommy Johns. I was hoping like he'd come back okay, which a lot of pitchers after the first Tommy Johns has been doing all right, and he's not.
Yeah, so, who knows? It's but there's just not much to worry about there with Miami. They're not going to do much anything. NL Central, the Cubs are still doing Cubs stuff. Like that offense looks really good. The pitching is solid. But St. Louis has been on a tear. Like they're playing good baseball right now.
Yeah, I mean it's weird. Not too long ago, we're like, this is some of the worst management.
Yeah,
in the league, like was making some weird moves, and they've kind of figured it out, and like some of those guys are back up in the majors after getting demoted, oddly, but they're killing it.
It just that like it can't be understated. Like the Cardinals are just a kind of a winning franchise. Like that's kind of what they do. Like they always seem to figure it out. And but like they've been on a real tear, and their pitching has come along, and they're playing good baseball. So look out for like the Central. NL Central might be a kind of a 4-team race. I think the Brewers are still a pretty good team. I think the Reds are a pretty decent team. They've got some pieces there. I would love for the Cubs to not win the Central. I think that'd be hilarious. I don't see it happening. I don't see it happening.
That team absolutely bombs the ball. And they have an incredible bullpen, and they also scored by far the most runs in the 7th, 8th, and 9th.
Yeah.
So like if you're not getting runs early, or if you don't got a lead early, like they're coming back or they're shutting you down.
They score runs in bunches too. Like it's not a big thing for them to score 5 in an inning. Like they're a good ball club.
Just walked off on the Rockies today.
And was that the 11th? Yeah. I think the Reds and the Brewers are. Yeah, that's kind of going to be what they're about this year. Is right around 500.
The Reds being at 500, that's definitely an improvement over last year. And Ellie De La Cruz has not really turned it on yet. So if he goes back to last year, which is no reason he shouldn't, that team could get a lot better.
I think so too. I think the same thing with the Brewers. I mean, it was a damn good ball club last year. They lost a few pieces, but they're still pretty good.
Yeah, Trio's not been quite as good as last year, and it's kind of a sophomore slump or whatever. But like he should probably go get a little bit better coming on.
You would think so, anyways. And the Pirates are blah. They got O'Neal Cruz and Paul Skeens, and that's it. Paul Skeens is still must watch baseball though. I mean, that guy's so good at pitching. Other than that,
maybe turn it off right afterwards, so you don't have to watch him lose that lead.
I know. Like, watch him pitch, and as soon as he's out, just change it to something else. The NL West is still cream of the crop in the Major League Baseball. Outside of the Rockies.
I mean, even with the Rockies, they're still just a good. Even if you take that little hit, like they're still
they're still way better. Dodgers at 34 wins, Padres at 30, Giants at 31, and the Diamondbacks at 27. So
I mean, Padres have been on like a pretty big slide recently.
3-7.
But I think a lot of it's injury related, and they're still pitching pretty well. But if they start hitting again, they could be a threat.
I think Tatis is the biggest threat to Shohei for the NL MVP at the moment. They're a good ball club. They're still hanging in there, even with all on a 7-3 out of 10 stretch. They're still right there.
I mean, in a good division too. So
in a really, really good division. The Giants are still like the Giants are a good ball club too. And then Diamondbacks. I still think the Diamondbacks are probably the second best team in that division. They need to win some more, but that's a really good team. Like that. Rockies got no business being in the National League West. Fuck. That's
rough.
They're so bad. They were going to be bad no matter what division they're in, but
they're on pace to lose division by 75 games.
75 games below the Dodgers is what the projection is. And then your next closest rival or competitor in the division is the Diamondbacks, who, like I said, I think is probably legitimately I think could be the second best team in that division. So it's not like the AL West where the next closest team is the Angels, who I almost for certain the A's can beat, at the end of the season. I think I'd put money that the A's in the season above the Angels. There's not a chance the Rockies are going to even sniff anywhere where the Diamondbacks are going to be.
No.
So it's just like like an extra pound of salt in the wound for being a shitty team in the best division.
Yeah, it's rough to be a Rockies fan.
Yeah, it really is. All right, so what kind of shakeups do you think happen? Let's what division you want to start with?
I'll just start at the top.
Okay.
I think Seattle stays at the top. But,
I think so too.
Honestly, the rest of it could go. I don't think the Astros will end up in the bottom, but I think the Rangers, Angels, or Athletics could, and I think any of those could end up as second.
I think so too. I don't. At the beginning of the year, I thought maybe the A's could take the division. I don't think so now. I think Seattle's a really good team. Astros, I still don't quite buy them as being as good as their record is right now. I think the Rangers are about where they're going to be. They've got Eovaldi, that's when he's on the mound, they're probably going to win. DeGrom also, but I don't know.
I'm not worried about the pitching. They just aren't in the ball.
Yeah. They got Langford, and that's kind of it at the moment.
He's not even doing that great.
Yeah. So, and then like I said, the Angels, I don't buy anything from them. They started the season really hot when Trout was in the lineup, but then they went really cold, and then they got hot right when I got to see him in Sacramento. But I think the A's can go on a little bit of a run. But yeah, I don't see them catching the Mariners. I don't see anybody at all catching the Yankees.
No, I think the Red Sox could move back to second. I think they will move back to second.
I think probably so. But I think it's going to be closer between them and the Rays at the end of the season than a lot of people thought.
Okay. That middle pack there is pretty tight and interesting.
Yeah. Bo Bichette's probably gonna be gone at the trade deadline, it sounds like.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
At least that's what rumors are. I don't know if anything, how much stock to put into that, but I've been hearing that. And the Central, I don't think anybody catches the Tigers, but I wouldn't count it out. I
think they're better than everyone in the division. But I still think that there's a non-zero chance that they send 4 teams.
I think you're right about that. Do you think the Tigers win the division by 5 games?
Yeah, I do.
I think that's a legit possibility, but I think it's going to be a dogfight for second, and probably for there's a good chance they'll send 3.
There's 2 games between the top or the 2, 3, and 4, and so I think that at the last week of the year it might still be 2 games separating them.
Yeah, I think that's a legit possibility. It feels like somebody's gonna have a Tigers run from last year, maybe. The NL East is pretty interesting. I don't think the Braves make up enough ground to take the division, but I think that's going to be back and forth between the Phillies Mets all year.
Yeah, I think so too. With the NL West, like might be hard to send 3 teams from the East. But
yeah,
I think the Braves will fight for a playoff spot, definitely.
I think so. I think I picked the Phillies to win. I'm gonna stick with that. But I'm not confident. It could be the Mets. I
kind of like the Mets to win it, but it's gonna be
the Mets.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then like we were talking earlier, the Cardinals are only 3 games back of the Cubs, so like I would love for the Cardinals to take the Central over the Cubs. That I would text Rob every day that the Cardinals are in first place to let him know that the Cardinals are in first place. But yeah, I think that's it. I mean, if the Cardinals don't win the division, I don't see the Central sending more than 1. I just don't buy it. One of those 2 will. I think it'll be a fight for that division, and they'll get overtaken by the 1 team from the East and probably 2 from the West.
Probably.
You got anybody beating the Dodgers?
I would love the Padres to do it, and I don't think it's going to happen.
It's kind of where I'm at too. I mean, if the Diamondbacks were a little better, I would still give them a shot. But 6.5 back, and I mean,
the Dodgers are so like really injured right now.
I know. It's things that they can only get better. It seems like. So,
yeah.
So I don't see anybody overtaking them for the division. But yeah, I roll the dice with the other 3, and you're probably not wrong.
Yeah, and obviously Rockies are
yeah.
Stay where they're at.
130 or bust. 9-46. We're we're over a third of the way there. So like we're getting there. They're on
pace to they're on pace for like 134 or something.
Fuck yeah. We're gonna do it. I've got a feeling. I want that City Connect hat, but it's only happening if they get 130 losses. Not before then. If they don't lose 130, this season's a complete failure. Shohei's pitching bullpen sessions and looking really good.
Yeah, he's just, I watched that bullpen session and like, man, this stuff is like, I swear it's better.
Somehow it's like he's going like full Henry Rowan Gardner. They tightened up that ligament too much, and now he was hitting 96, 97. His splitter was fucking disgusting.
Absolute filth. And then he's just like got a little boy grin.
Just like he's becoming less robotic as he's progressing, and you're like, I don't know if I want to see Shohei having fun, because then they're like, there's it's just like it's game over for the best baseball player of all time. if Shohei's actually having fun and operating at full potential, like fuck, man.
Everyone's done for.
So what do they do with him? Are they going to start him? They put him in high leverage. They put him at closer. What do they do with?
I mean, if he's just throwing now, like I don't think there's any way that they pitch him before the All-Star break.
I wouldn't think so,
and they shouldn't either. Especially
No.
if they don't if their other pitchers start coming back and we're healthy, like just let them maybe do some like simulated games or something like that, and then maybe I don't know, but. If you can pitch a game, it's kind of hard not to let him pitch a game.
That's kind of what I think too. Is like, especially that, yeah. If you can go send him out for 6-7 innings, and then he still hits for the next 4 days, like, goddamn, dude, that's why you paid him $700 million.
Yeah,
like that. That's exactly why. And you're like, well, because he's the only guy that can do that.
Yeah, and I mean, I'd probably keep him on a pretty strict pitch count.
Yeah, you'd think so. But yeah, like if he can go out and give you, 6 1/3 to 7 innings, and then still be close to 50-50. Fuck,
Yeah.
man.
So one thing about him, like, especially reason to like take it easy this first year back is, so there's a lot of pitchers have come back from Tommy John, had like great careers and like long careers, but there's pretty much no one that's had 2 Tommy Johns and had a long healthy career.
Right.
Evaldi's one of them. And he's still, I think he's only a year out of it or year and a half out of his second one.
I think so, yeah.
But like this is kind of a new territory for some good baseball, for a great baseball player. So like, take it easy on that elbow.
Yeah, for sure. Like don't push it, and just for like I said, I don't want the Dodgers to win. They're kind of the evil empire right now, and but also I love baseball and I want to see the best guys out there, and like that I've never seen anything like Shohei Ohtani. So yeah, keep that going as long as you can in whatever form possible. Like keep that guy on the field and doing his shit, because he's too fun to watch to so don't rush him back. Like you don't want to have him blow out his elbow and then he also can't hit for the year. Just like keep him in the lineup somehow. And whatever that means, if he doesn't have to, if he can't pitch this year, so be it. Just keep him in the lineup. He's too fun to watch. He's too good for the game not to. Like, there's a reason why they overlooked that gambling shit.
Yeah.
Like everybody liked Pete Rose, Charlie Hustle, but Pete Rose wasn't Shohei Ohtani. Like you're not bringing in a whole nother market on top of what you already got with Shohei or with Pete Rose. Like that. There's an obvious reason why that didn't turn into a bigger deal with the gambling situation. And I guess there always is the chance that it was 100% what Shohei said, and what that he
I'm still believing him.
I want to. I'm
gonna believe him.
It was kind of the same way when Sammy Sosa said he wasn't doing steroids. I wanted to believe him. Like
wow.
I just wanted to believe him.
I probably didn't, but I wasn't gonna believe him, but I also didn't care.
Right. Well, yeah, I still don't care. Like I was talking with Aaron the other day. We had the bonds conversation for like the millionth time, and as big of an asshole as Bonds was, like it's a goddamn travesty that he's not in the Hall of Fame. That is the best baseball player that we've ever seen. Like the best hitter. Like even pre-steroids, that was the next Willie Mays.
I mean. You could almost look at like his pre-steroid career and say that's a Hall of Fame career by itself.
Right. Like,
I mean, he already had like 3 MVPs.
Yeah.
Before steroids? Come on.
It was only his rookie year that he hit under 300.
Was it?
I think so. Or maybe that was Tony. I think that was Tony
Yeah,
Gwynn.
because I think, because I don't think he was ever like super high average guy. Just kind of like a 290, 300.
Yeah, I think maybe you're right. Which, back in those days was, not the best. And you had guys hitting 330 kind of every year. Like somebody was hitting 330 every year.
But I mean, it wasn't just that. He's not an average guy. He's a power guy. He's hitting tons of doubles, tons of home runs all the time. And he's walking forever.
Right. Then as he got on the juice, like then nobody pitched to him, and he'd still somehow hit 73 home runs in a year. Fuck, man. Yeah, it was ridiculous. There was one series where he only got one pitch to hit, and he put it in the fucking cove. Did you see that chick in softball? I think she's from Arkansas. I forget her name. But
I know what you're talking about. Yes,
same thing. Like whole game hadn't got a single pitch to hit, and but it was they were down one. The other I forget who they were playing, but maybe it was tie game. But bases juiced, and they had to pitch to her. They had to pitch to her, and she hit a ball that hasn't landed yet.
Dude, it was a tank, absolute tank. But apparently she's been doing that like all year long.
All year long, yeah. And there was a reason they didn't pitch to her, but they had to. Like they had no choice, and just boom, just fucking crushed it.
Yeah, I've been watching a little bit of softball. Like the games are pretty fun. I mean, it's also because the field's so small.
Oh yeah,
and you just see like some crazy defensive plays.
It's
much more fun than I thought it was going to be.
It's much more enjoyable than the WNBA, if you ask me.
Absolutely.
If there's not many women's sports that I will watch, but I will legit sit down and watch a college softball game. Like they're like the college softball World Series is pretty goddamn fun, and those girls are like I don't know why that hasn't become a professional sport, because there's plenty of girls playing college softball. It seems like they could get and it gets good ratings too. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Like people watch that. I just don't understand why that hasn't taken off. I don't know.
I thought it was fun. I mean, I would watch that, especially it'd be hard, but like if you had like an indoor set of indoor stadiums that they play at. Play it in the winter where you get something to watch in the winter too.
Shit, yeah. Or I mean, you could keep it in the South too, where
you can play
like just play in the SEC states, where it's where you can actually do it in the winter. That would make sense too. But I don't know. It just seems like they're really pushing that WNBA hard, which fair enough, but it's not a good product. Like the WNBA is trash. It's not that fun to watch. But I actually legit like women's softball. Like they're fun to watch. They had I think the chicks from Tennessee threw the fastest pitch ever the other day, and it was like 78 mile an hour from 45 feet away. That's
coming in fast.
That's humming. That's humming.
Yeah.
So
I know everyone wants to extrapolate that out to 60 feet with the miles per hour. It's not the same, but like that's fast.
It's fast.
But it's not even necessarily that it's fast, but like those balls move different than a baseball coming from an underhand pitch. And
it's coming from 45 feet away. So like it's on you fast. Like even if it's not 100 mile an hour, it's on you quicker because they're closer to you. Like it's.
Well, I mean, I still remember Jenny Finch striking out Albert Pujols.
Albert Pujols is I think he's the best pure hitter I've ever seen live. Like he was incredible. Especially you remember that tank he hit off of Brad Lidge?
The ball just disappeared. Just disappeared into the night over the trade.
We were watching that game. It was when we lived there on North Shields, and Aaron just goes, "I feel sick," because he was an Astros fan back in the day.
I remember.
I feel sick. A clip of that came across Instagram the other day, and I immediately sent to him, and I just said, "Do you still feel sick?" And he said, "Never stopped." It wasn't Brad Lidge from Denver too?
He is, yeah.
Yeah.
I remember Tim hit against him in high school once. And he's like, he threw me 3 pitches. I didn't move the bat. Just walk back to the dugout.
Mine was almost like that against Luke Hochevar, except I swung 3 times and I think I fouled one off. I don't know that I ever saw it, ever actually saw the ball, but I swung 3 times. He struck me out with a slider, and I was about 6 miles ahead of it.
Oh boy.
Yeah, it was that was funny. That was one of the, that was right up there with like the Freddie Freeman walk-off grand slam. It was just like, it was as soon as he hit it, you're like, oh yeah, that one's going and still going and still going.
Yeah, and especially, I mean, like, seriously, I have no idea where that landed. Like, off into the night.
Yeah, like it. You saw it on TV. It just like, yeah, you said it just disappeared, and you're like, it'll land at some point, I guess. Maybe.
What's the exit velocity to get out of the atmosphere? Like, maybe
yeah, no shit. He might have crashed the International Space Station with that one. Albert Pujols killed 3 Russian scientists, 2 Japanese, and 7 Americans. Oh fuck. Well, it's a fun episode, Jake.
It was.
So thanks everybody for tuning. I always forget. Go subscribe to us on YouTube. It's Burning Daylight Sports on all the social medias, but go check us out on YouTube. Help us get the subscriber count up and all that happy horse shit. But thanks for tuning in, and move your ass. We're burning daylight.